Alright, I'm super excited because if you are watching this video right now, then it means that I am long gone. I'm out of here. I'm on to new and exciting things. But I figured I would make this video to show you, to hopefully help you a little bit as you're going throughout your last senior year. And if you're watching this, you're probably the next SBO president. So right now, Dallin Carter. But if this video still exists after Dallin, then congrats, and you will live a legacy at Riverton High School. Okay. Anyways, this is what I've got. I got a bunch of notes. Also, I will write this in the President Book of Secrets. So, where I will leave some of my links for all my speeches that I wrote and my digital map for odd jobs during Silver Rush. And so if you want those, that will be there. Sorry about that. I got a phone call. Anyways, okay. So I'm going to go through this really fast because I don't want this video to be very long and boring. So I'm going to just nail through the big events. There's tons of little things that you're going to do throughout the year that Borg will help you along. Maybe the admin are like, hey, we want you guys to do this to help us, or anything like that. I'm not going to talk about any of that because it could be different for every year. You'll probably, when there's parent-teacher conferences, you'll get the goodies and pass around the drinks. That's always fun. But yeah, alright, let's get into it. Okay, beginning of the year. You guys are going to do a little parade. Hopefully, I don't know with this coronavirus if you will get a parade or not. But my only advice for that is don't get in a car crash right before. That's my only advice. And then also, okay, and then it's like the beginning of the year, okay? Beginning of the year, and you're going to have your theme assembly. I hope you are already, right when summer starts, you want to start looking for a theme. The past 3 years of my high school, the theme has been related to a song. So, Life in Color by One Republic, the theme was Live in Color, right? Or Here We Go by Wild, the theme was Here We Go. And then this year we chose What We Live For by American authors, and it was the theme, and and there was a song to go along with it. But you do not have to choose a song to go along with your theme. You can say we want our theme to be, I don't know, United, and then you want to choose some random song like Here Come Together by the Beatles, where it's don't choose that, even though I like that song. But but yeah, they don't have to be the same, the song and the theme. I would recommend having a song because it's cute to put in your recap videos, and it's just when you hear that song after or later or whenever, it just reminds you of high school, and I love that. I love that for What We Live For, and whenever I hear Here We Go and Life in Color, I'm just, I get the feels, because I'm like, that's Riverton High School. Anyways, so that's my advice on choosing a theme. In the theme assembly, you usually do, in the past, we've done kind of a story, where in this past one, we're like, all right, we went to the assembly not having a theme, and we're like, guys, we need to find a theme. And then it kind of cut off and went into a video where we went on a scavenger hunt and eventually found a theme, had to battle a Harriman Mustang for it, got the theme, came back, and then revealed it. My take on opening assembly is you want it to be interesting, right? If there's a story that kind of keeps the assembly moving along, then that would be great. Like during the assembly, Elsie would like got up and was like got on the phone and they're like, "Oh, Isaac, what's up? Yeah, do you have the theme yet?" And like it kind of just like kept in suspense, right? You just want to build up that whole suspense. And remember, you can do whatever you want. Like you don't have to do what we did. You don't have to do what years past did. You can do whatever you think the student body would like. That's what you need to do. So if you don't think what we did worked very well, which in some instances, not in this one, I really liked our scavenger hunt video and how our opening assembly went. But yes. Also, get your what we live for, no, your theme shirts printed early and pass them out. We passed some of them out, and then we didn't really pass a lot out until like Silver Rush, and we sold them for Silver Rush. You can do that if you want, or if you want, you can throw them out at football games. I would keep a few of them to give out, because whenever we gave out an award, we'd have like the trophy during the recap assemblies. You give out awards to students, the theme award or the like athletic superfan award, etc. We would give them a theme shirt along with the reward. So if you wanted to do that, you can. All right, on to the next. So yeah, the theme assembly is very fun. I think that's like Hello Week. So I think we did like Con Candy in the Commons after is what I remember. But like during like Spirit Weeks and stuff, feel free to do lunchroom activities or like pass things out, because the school actually has like a budget that we can use. So if you were like, hey, we want to do this, then like it could be approved. Like don't be afraid because something costs money to be held back from it. You might go to board and be like, hey, we want to do this, and then she's like, yeah, sorry, that's way too expensive, or they're like, yeah, sorry, we're just not going to do that because it's a bad idea. So, but keep that in mind. All right, after that is homecoming week. I'm just kind of going in order. Okay, so homecoming week. Homecoming week is a blast, but it's a ton of work. So luckily you split a lot of the responsibility up with rest of student government. So seniors are in charge of the opening assembly, and they are in charge of royalty for homecoming royalty and stuff. So they've got that covered. Note to self, do not tell who got top 3 until don't tell until, wait, okay, let me just redo that. So note to self with the homecoming and royalty is make sure you don't let the top 3 know that they are top 3 until like right before the dance. Does that make sense? No, right before the football game, because the football game is where the top 3 are awarded. We made that mistake because, well, the senior class officers told them, and a little word got out, and we're like, ugh. So just make sure it's hush hush, and you don't, because the 3 people might tell other people, like they might tell the other 2 other candidates that they didn't make it or whatever. Anyways, juniors are in charge of powder puff, and then the sophomores are in charge of the color throw and the barbecue. So, and remember when those 3 people are running things, they are definitely going to need help from the SBOs to do different things, because they kind of look up to you guys, and they look up to you as the president to be kind of a leader in it all. So make sure you are kind of you're not going to be planning it or stuff like that, but if they need help, definitely be there to help them when they need that help, and to give your thoughts, or to just move stuff. Like sometimes you have to go to the store get like spray paint to spray the grass, or you're going to need to move tables out for the refs and stuff. Anyways, so feel free, always be there to help. You guys are in charge of Burning of the Wolf, which it's a pretty easy event to plan. Your student rec will do the planning just like how they will do the planning for the assemblies. Basically with that, with student rec, is they are planning the assemblies, but they're not really planning it all. They're writing down the script, and they do end up doing a lot of the work, but all of the SBOs will always put in how they want the event to look like. So you'll have like a little meeting, right? You'll say like, hey, how do we want this event to look like? And then a lot of times the SBOs will help the student rec write most of the script, you know? But the student rec does end up doing most of the work throughout the year. So Burning of the Wolf is on Thursday. It is quite a bit of work to set everything up, so make sure student government members don't get burned out, and make sure that you like keep them excited, because sometimes at this point they're like, yeah, I'm gonna go home and take a nap instead of helping set up for this Burning of the Wolf. That kind of sucks. So it's kind of hard to work around that, but just try to keep people motivated. Friday is the homecoming football game, so the barbecue will be that day. We'll do the color throw. Usually it's a whiteout game, so everyone that was in the color throw, it's like white and then colors around it. I don't know, it's cool, it's fun. And then during halftime of that game, you've got like 9 or maybe 12 minutes where you will announce the homecoming royalty. And so this was kind of crazy. Last year we were adopted by one of the police safety patrol police, I don't know, but they offered to get cars, so we had a police car drive around the field and drop off the royalty, which was fun. They did offer a helicopter, which would be so sick if a helicopter could like drop down the game ball, or if the helicopter could, I don't know. It's probably unrealistic, but I really wanted to do a helicopter at a football game, but it didn't work. Anyway, so yeah, you'll be, Dallin or any other SBO presidents, you'll be doing the announcing at this. And there's a script. Borg has the script. I used it last year. It's pretty simple. Just read the script. Play the theme song as they're like walking in or walking out. The homecoming theme song. Oh yeah, you need to do that too. Choose the homecoming theme song. I would do that a few weeks before. You could do it at leadership. Well, you won't have a leadership camp, but yeah, I would do it before school even starts. Get that theme song chosen. But yeah, football game is fun. After that, homecoming dance. Make sure you have all of the decorations ready before the dance starts, because a few times we're like, all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to just cut out these little silhouettes right before the dance because they're easy to cut out. But that in reality, that's not true. You want to just get everything ready so that you can just hang them up and go. Although you know this if you've been in student government past years. So I want to talk more about that. If you want, we did decorations in the Commons for homecoming week. That is a lot of work, and just the SBOs did it. And the SBOs were like, it took like us 3 or 4 hours or something. It was so long because it was just us 8. And I thought it looked pretty good. It was just simple decorations that we did. I thought it looked good, but it did take a ton of work. Also, someone stole my lights, so that's annoying. How long is this? Oh, geez. Okay. I'll try to make this more interesting for you. All right, second quarter is Silver Rush. After the homecoming week, we had that cellular video assembly. It wasn't way hard. It was hard because it was right after homecoming week, so it was just a lot to take in. But my advice for that would be to get an interesting idea. The best is to have the SBOs plan and think of something new that the students would like. You will always want to be planning, like every time you make an assembly, you want to say, are the students going to enjoy this? Are the students going to be interested in this? So what we did was I did like a TED Talk type of thing where I gave why students should still have their cell phones in schools, but and then we had different videos that played to back up my TED Talk, which was kind of fun. The only thing about that assembly is I think there's too much videos. You need to make a balance where you don't want an assembly to be too much videos, but you don't want it to be like talking the entire time because students get bored of that. So yeah, that's my advice for that. Okay, second quarter is just Silver Rush. It's literally just Silver Rush. Right when homecoming week is over, I would start planning for Silver Rush because Silver Rush is a ton of work. You're going to love it, but it is a ton of work. We set up interviews pretty early. I don't know dates very well, but I would tell you the dates, but I would just start as soon as you can. So what you do is during your 7th period with all the SBOs is you have everyone brainstorm and come with like 3 or 4 charities that they thought is interesting. So they'd come having researched the charities. They come bring like 3 charities. They're like, all right, so I thought this one was kind of fun, this one was kind of fun, and this one was kind of fun. And then you would all share your like, there's usually ends up being like 20 charities up on the board or something like that. And after that, you go through each of the charities and you're like, all right, so we all can agree we like these, and then you narrow it down to the top 10. Once you have the top 10 charities, then you start calling them. You call the charity and you set up an appointment. Lots of charities will reach out to you too, not a ton. There was definitely less charities than I thought would reach out to us, but that's just Borg will have that information. There's an application online where they can look at where they want the charities to be. No, there's an application online where they can apply to be a Silver Rush charity, and so you can look at all of those too. So once you get down to the top 10, you schedule interviews. So you call the charity, you say, "Hi, we're interested in your charity, and we're wanted it to be our charity for Silver Rush." Call them, set up an appointment for the next, and then for that week, sometimes 2 weeks, every day, 3rd period and 7th period, you're going to have 2 interviews. And make sure to take tons of notes on these 2 interviews. And then once all of the interviews are done, then the SBOs will come together and choose a top 3. It takes a long time to decide, but try not to take too much time because you don't have a lot of time between when homecoming week ends and December 1st starts. So you wanted to get it done pretty fast because once the charity's chosen, then you can start going forth with the rest of the plans. You can't really get that far in Silver Rush planning until the charity's chosen. So choose the charity quick, and then you'll have a presentation to the rest of student government, and they'll take a vote, and then you'll choose the final charity. So when we did it, South Valley Services and Underground Railroad were almost split half and half. And so then we had a vote with just us SBOs, and it was split 4-4, and we're like, and so obviously whatever we chose was going to be fine. But we talked to Goff, and Goff and some of the administration ended up being the final votes where they're like, all right, we're going to do South Valley Services this year. So that's kind of how it was chosen. So yeah, after that, start planning. You want to make the calendar, because once the calendar is set, that's very important to get all of the dates of when everything is happening. Borg is very good at scheduling things in advance. So ask Borg what has already been scheduled. Sometimes scheduling gets crazy, but also we usually do a student senate meeting. We did it really late this year, but you should probably do the student senate meeting a few weeks after homecoming week. You want to just do it as soon as you can. But you get together with all the clubs and people from different sporting groups or like dance, go and drill and like stuff like that, and you like basically talk about what everyone is doing for Silver Rush. And this is really good because you start seeing like how the big picture is going to come in. 1 second. So yeah, once that student senate meeting is done, then you can go on. Make sure that you have everything scheduled on the calendar, and then I would make what you want is you want everyone to know what's happening, right? So advertising, that's what you need to start advertising. You need to start letting everyone know all of the options. So if people are selling things in the commons, you should. We did this. It went up a little late. It went up a week into Silver Rush or something. But like to let everyone know what is available in the commons and what different teachers are doing, what's available to buy, what you're selling at the school store. You need to see what you're selling because the SBOs are in charge of that school store. And then so yeah, the SBOs basically do most of all of Silver Rush. So senior class officers, they do gotcha. Juniors, they do. What do the juniors do? Oh crap, I don't remember. Sophomores did pins, which the pins were kind of like they didn't really do pins. So if you can help the sophomores find something better to do, or to keep them more motivated to actually sell pins. I don't think they sold a single pins. They designed a lot of cool pins that people probably would have bought, but they really didn't design a whole lot of pins. So I really don't know what juniors did. I can't think. Please don't be offended with me, Dallin. I love you, but I can't remember. Dang. Okay. Well, help the juniors do what they do. Okay, anyways, there is a ton of events that goes on during Silver. So once you have the calendar done, you have everything planned out, make sure your artist SBO gets the logos done early so that you can start so you can order the shirts. You want to order the shirts for Silver Rush and the hoodies and the jackets. You need to decide the merch pretty early. And then once you guys know the logos for everything, then you can start ordering the merch for Silver Rush. Yeah, so calendar, order all the merch. You want to get everything ready for the school store early. And then the events are actually easier than I thought they would be. They are a ton of work. So the homecoming assembly, you want to talk to your SBOs about all of that. I'm pretty sure Becca has shared all of our scripts from this year to next year's Student Rec SBO, Olivia Dibble. And so look at all of that. That's very helpful. But yeah, talk with the SBOs how you want that beginning assembly to look like, and then after that, it's kind of going fast. So the CD concert, you guys are in charge of all of that. Two SBOs or two class officers or someone will MC that, or you don't have to have a student government member to MC it. You can have someone else that you think will do really good to MC it. But you want to do auditions for the CD concert like a week or two before Silver Rush even starts. And then get your tech SBO to start burning CDs so that you can sell them So you want to have auditions, and then you want to record all of the performances so you can burn them all onto the CD so that you can start selling them. So you can, well, you're going to give them to everyone who came to the CD concert, I think, or maybe they have to buy them, I don't know. But then you'll sell the rest of them at the school store after that. So you want to get that done pretty fast. Um, I think that's it with CD concert. Usually, if someone writes an original song about Silver Rush, you want to put that in the CD concert, even if they're not very good at singing, because they spent that time to write an original song, which is pretty impressive for me. Um, but then just, yeah, choose who you think would keep the audience entertained, and yeah. Auditions are fun. They are fun to watch and to choose. After that, Battle of the Bands, you guys don't do that. You're not in charge of most of it. They might ask you to MC it. I think Elsie and John MC'd it this year, so they might ask you to MC it. But other than that, it's pretty. You don't have to worry about Battle of the Bands. Silver Boutique. Borg is in charge of all of that. I don't know a lot. I think moms come in and like choose crafts and stuff. It's like crafts day. I don't know. Ask Borg about it. She'll know. Um, movie night. Movie night was. It doesn't take a lot to set up. Your tech SBO needs to get the speakers and the projector and set all of that up. You can help him get the stuff, but I'm not good with tech, so he had to set it all up for me. Bryson did. Um, what's always been sad about the movie night is not a lot of people come. Like last year, there was like a good amount of people that came, but there wasn't as nearly as many as I might have wanted to come. Um, which is fine. Watch a fun movie. I think it has to be G or something. School is stinky about what movies we can play or which we can't. Um, but if you're going to do that event again, I would say advertise it. Make sure all student gov members are there supporting it, and you need to advertise the heck out of it. Tell all of like everyone to come, because if not, I don't think it's worth it. Even though it is a fun event for me personally to go watch a movie with my pals at the school. Um, yeah, and you don't have to do that event again if you feel like it's not worth it. All right, Jazz Club. I love this event. You guys plan Jazz Club if you want to do it. It's not a ton of work. You have to talk with crap. What is it? Food. The food class, food team, food. ProStart. Yes, ProStart. You have to correspond with ProStart because they cater the whole thing. It's super good. It's done in the library. I didn't know anything about this event, but I play jazz, so I wanted to do it. They have done it in years past, but they turn the lights down or off, and then they usually have like a jazz combo group. You have to find that jazz combo group to play if you want music at this jazz club dinner night. It's like, I think we did $20 a couple. There's actually a decent amount of people that came to this. Not a ton of it's limited because the ProStart needs to know how many people they need to feed. But yeah, after they danced, it's not way hard to figure out to get a combo group to play for you. I would talk to Allison. She plays the piano. Um, yeah, just go down during seventh period is actually jazz band. So I would go down to jazz band and be like, hey, we need a combo group to play at our jazz club. And a lot of those musicians have a fake book or a real book where they can just play for like 2 hours straight and be fine. So I would go down to jazz band and ask them if they have a combo group. Anyways, Oh man, I'm talking a lot. Ugly Sweater Stomp is very easy. You don't have to set up decorations. You just have to plan when and where and get everyone to come. Um, in the middle of it, you do like a flash mob or something where you can get people to give you money, or you can do an ugly sweater contest. We didn't do an ugly sweater contest because we didn't want to break up the dance that much, so we just had a flash mob and had people throw money into boxes. Um, I don't know if that worked super well. I heard people were like taking money out of it, which is dumb. So I don't know how you want to change that. Maybe do an ugly sweater contest and then you have a box, and if I don't know, talk about it with the SBOs. But you want to figure out how to get money from that. Okay, after that, Silver Swap, you guys aren't in charge of planning it, so don't worry about Silver Swap. Um, if you want to do a spike ball tournament or like a 3-on-3 pickup tournament, those are super fun. Those spike ball was this last year, and then a pickup tournament happened 2 years ago. But those are super fun, and I would definitely recommend doing that. I think Hayden Stone planned the spike ball tournament last year, but but yeah, those are super fun, and I would definitely recommend doing one of those because people will sign up and do that. The campout's fun. There's not a ton of planning you need in it. Just set a date, and then you need to make sure you have supplies for it. So like fire, um, like gas heat things, a tent, a few like canopies, and then like hot chocolate. People love the hot chocolate there. So find someone that will donate a bunch of hot chocolate packets, and you can just have hot water. Um, Also have music. Music's very important and makes the whole thing better. Try not to get everyone to kiss each other, even though that's probably impossible to do because people are. That's kind of what happens when the camp out goes on. Is people are like, oh yeah, let's go kiss people, but like, yeah, I don't know what to do about that. Multifarious, Max will plan that. Your activities, SBO will plan it. So Max, and you're pretty familiar with it because all of Student Gov comes. Everyone in Student Gov comes up with an event. Make sure everyone is ready the day before, like has all of their supplies the day before, so that um, when they come in the next day for multifarious, they can come right in, set up their booth, set up whatever they're doing, and be ready and not have to worry about. Because I think there was a few stations that weren't quite ready when multifarious happened. So just make sure everyone is ready to go right when multifarious happens. Okay. Closing assembly. Closing assembly is like scripted. Like it's very easy to fill up the time. You don't have to talk a lot about it unless you want to do something different than what has done in years past. But other than that, it has been very easy. Make sure you get 2 big ropes before the assembly. We were kind of like running around everywhere like, oh, where's the ropes? We don't know. Make sure you have lots of spray paint so you don't run out of spray paint when the artist SBO and the finance SBO are spraying the banner. And then make sure we got a bunch of fabric for banners for it'll last a few years. I think it's in the art closet, but um, that's very important. And then make sure your video is done. I love the videos. Oh, I just love Silver Rush closing assembly. Um, Everyone's just exhausted. Usually, you have an all-nighter the night before with all of student government, so do that. The all-nighter's wonderful. It's a ton of fun, except for you're exhausted the next day, and then you're just even more emotional for the Silver Rush closing assembly. But yeah, more about the closing assembly. You need to write your speech. I've always written my speeches like the night before I have to give them, which is not a good thing to do. I would recommend doing it more in advance. But yeah, it's Silver Rush closing assembly is pretty easy. Make sure make sure you tell your artist SBO and your finance SBO that when they're pulling the banner up, that they've got to like be in sync. They've got to look at each other and then like either just start pulling it at the same time. Just make sure that they have that conversation. They're like, all right when the video's over, then we're gonna look at each other, count to 3, and then start pulling, because this year Mara just didn't realize what was happening, so it like went up crooked, which is fine. It's like, it's not a big deal, but you just want that like kind of feel, you know? So that's what I would do. Make sure they're communicating with each other and they know what the plan is before it happens. Okay. So that's the closing assembly. Okay, so other than those things, you're going to have business nights for hopefully every night. Your communications SBO will do that, so Hayden, and he just needs to be able to get on the phone and call, and Matthew did so good at this, and a lot of the time during Silver Rush, like while we were in class and stuff, he's just like, no, before Silver Rush, like in November, he's just calling businesses, he's like, yeah, so what day is good for this, and like, so the businesses are usually pretty aware of what Silver Rush is, and they're pretty, a lot of them, like Arctic Circle, they do their Silver Rush shake every year. They'll know what's going on, and they'll be like, yeah, we got it. But if you want to try new businesses that haven't done it, then you have to reach out to them a little earlier, probably. Also with business nights, Grizzlies hockey game is, they bring in a ton of money, but you need to, this year that didn't work out very well because the guy who sold tickets, to get tickets was kind of a difficult process, and not that many people went. But if you could really advertise that, that's like a huge, that like brings in a lot of money. Odd jobs. I haven't talked about odd jobs yet, but odd jobs is like the biggest thing during Silver Rush. Not the biggest thing, but yeah, it's basically one of the biggest things. And guess what? You're in charge of planning it. You do everything for it. So it's not that hard to plan. It's just every single day from 4 to 8. Saturdays it's from 10 to 2. So it's not that hard. Just like put up a poster, right? Say like, hey, come to odd jobs. But then what you need to do is you need to come up with a schedule. So everyone in student government gets 2 days off during Silver Rush to not go to odd jobs. What I did was I just said, hey, send me what days you want off and I will put it in. And so if they only sent me 1 day, then I only gave them 1 day off, which some people were a little salty about. And so I don't recommend doing that. If you end up having to just put someone gives, like if they don't request a day off, just give them 2 days off. Making the calendar was a huge, the schedule, because you're like scheduling 20 people and they all have different schedules, and it's just complex. And you want them to go with different people every day. Well, newsflash, you're going to end up repeating. Even though the ideal schedule is there's 20 people and there is like 14 days of Silver Rush or something, like of odd jobs, you want to go with someone different every time. Just know now, like I spend hours trying to come up with the perfect schedule. It just doesn't happen. You just need to, like, you need to be realistic, and people are going to repeat on some days. Try not to have changing go on too much. Like, people are like, oh yeah, I haven't gone with it. Like, try not to do that too much, because people end up just like going with the same 2 people like on multiple times, like multiple occasions. They'll just like go with the same person. I'm like, okay, you need to go with different people. So that's a little frustrating. Also with odd jobs is, when I was a junior and I was class officer, when I was a junior class officer, we marked a little map, which worked well, but I don't think it was that effective. So I made a digital map and print out a big map where there was routes, different routes that you could do, and you could just put a sticky note on which route you did. I think that system was pretty effective. there was only one or two occasions where someone forgot to mark the map, and then this happened to me. I went to this route, and the people were like, "Oh yeah, they came by like 2 days ago." I'm like, "You're kidding," but someone just forgot to mark the map. So make sure people are marking the map, um, and keeping up on it, showing which routes they've done. If you want to do the old marker technique, you can do that. Or I have my map and I have my digital map if you want to use that again. I thought that was pretty useful. You could press what route you wanted to do on your phone, and then you could press directions and it would just take you right where the route is. So it worked pretty easily, and you could see what needed to be done just on your phone instead of looking at the picture that you took back in the SBO room. So it's useful. Make sure you're at ob jobs by 3:45 to start bringing people into your group. You want to leave at 4. The sooner you leave, the more houses you can get done, and that's what you're doing, is you want to get as many houses done as you can. Okay, enough with odd jobs. School store. School store is kind of a pain. It was really fun. You want to, in November, before Silver Rush even starts, you want to make sure you have all of the things that you're selling in the store. The store brings in a ton of money, actually. But towards the end of Silver Rush, some of the SBOs were more tired, which makes sense. You get exhausted. Like, Silver Rush is physically exhausting, and it was hard to get the SBOs to come right down to set up the store. So I don't know if board would let you, but like leave second period like 5 minutes early so that you can just go down, set up the store. I think that's better, because when we were doing it, the store was set up like 10 minutes after lunch started. But everyone that goes out to lunch, they missed the store because they didn't see it. It wasn't set up right. And so maybe like as they're walking out to lunch, they could buy, like, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's a sick lanyard. I'll buy it real quick," you know. So I would recommend setting it up quicker. Maybe leave second period 5 minutes early. Or if Borg says, "Yeah, you're not skipping class," then good game. Just get there as fast as you can, and hopefully the other SBOs aren't dumb and they help you set up. At the end of Silver Rush, you kind of get annoyed with certain people in student government because you're just with them all the time, but you know that. Okay, I'm done. Anyways, okay, I think I've covered everything in Silver Rush. I think. It's such a great experience, and you're going to love it, and you actually become so tight with the charity. You go visit their thing, and you take pictures with them, and you see the change. You see what you've been able to change because you chose their charity, and what change it caused in the community. It's really a cool experience, and you're really going to love it. Yeah, okay. What just happened? One second. Okay, here we go. 23 minutes. This is like hour. This is gonna be like an hour video. This is insane. Okay. Okay. Third quarter. Third quarter was super fun. Spirit Bowl. Right when Silver Rush is done, you're going to start planning for Spirit Bowl. Obviously, first class back after your Christmas break, you're going to just relax and like have a good time with the SBOs. But like after that, you've got to start pounding it out for Spirit Bowl. Choose have them all think about like a theme. Maybe during Christmas break they can start thinking about themes for Spirit Bowl. Usually it's good when they come to, if you assign the SBOs, you're like, hey, this is your assignment. Bring 3 ideas that you have for the Spirit Bowl to class, and then once in class you talk about it. We got almost everything for Spirit Bowl planned out in one class period last year because, well, we got the theme pounded out, and it was kind of fun because we just like we had a little idea and then we like kind of worked it, and then like eventually it led to medieval Renaissance. Yeah, it was sick. Anyways, I love the Spirit Bowl. It's a party. Um, Make sure you got your dress up days. You'll have um, usually at the second quarter recap assemblies when you introduce the Spirit Bowl theme and what days you want to talk about with the SBOs, how the point system is going to work throughout the week. So like dress up points, but then if you want to do like other points, like I don't know, I went to a basketball game. I don't know. You can talk about it if you want other point, like if you want to be able to earn points another way. I know 2 years ago they did a little movie night, and if you showed up to the movie night, then you could earn points for your team. You could do that if you want. Spirit Bowl, the actual assembly itself, is so crazy, and this last year, I don't think that we were completely ready for it. We definitely weren't ready for it. What I would recommend is you run through every assembly, but for some reason we didn't run through this last assembly. We kind of did, but like some of the events we were like weren't sure on. You usually do a relay race at the end, and make sure you set up the relay race before the assembly, and you run through the relay race so all of the SBOs know what it looks like and they know how to set it up, because we didn't do that, and it was kind of awkward when we were setting it up. I think the assembly still ran smoothly and no one really noticed anything, but as us SBOs were like I forgot where this table goes, where, or like, so set it up before so that they know where to go. Also, what else for Spirit Bowl? Yeah, decorations take a long time. You want to start on decorations as soon as you know what the theme for the thing is. Talk about it with the SBOs, like how you want decorations to look like. You can really do. Usually, there's like corners where like seniors are this corner and all the senior stuff is over here. But like this year, we kind of we just decorated it like a castle, and then there's like propaganda posters every once in a while. So it's really up to you guys, whatever you want to do. Talent show is also third quarter. Talent show. Our talent show is completely planned out and everything, and then that's when coronavirus hit. Oh, that was awkward. Yeah, COVID-19 happened and everything was canceled, so we didn't actually get to do a talent show, but everything was planned. We did auditions like 2 weeks before. Right after Spirit Bowl, you want to start doing auditions for the talent show. We were going to do like a Riveton's Got Talent theme and like buzz people. Me and John were going to do a fake performance that was just terrible, and they were just going to buzz us off. You don't want to be mean to the other people who actually tried out. Auditions aren't very hard. Oh yeah, I already talked about that. With everything you do, just remember, like, you don't want it to be like when I was planning the Riveton's Got Talent. I'm like, all right, I don't want people to just go perform, the MC to be like, all right, our next person will be this. Like, I wanted to have more of a story behind it, and like a little more interesting than just a regular talent show. So try to be creative in all of the events that you plan. Like, know that it doesn't have to be exactly the same as it always is, even though that might be the safe way. Like, don't be afraid to venture out and try new things. Okay, fourth quarter is elections, which is not very hard. We made a big list of panel questions. We didn't get to do them because everything was online. But you'll probably do elections in person next year, and so we have panel questions. Other than that, I don't have a ton of advice on it because I didn't do it. Borg will help you along. Borg is amazing, and she helps you with so much. So look to her. The Howl is a big carnival. Plan that just like how you would plan any other event. Usually at that point of the year, it's not that hard to plan things. So good luck with the Howl. I was sad we didn't get to do that this year. All right, other things. All right, and that's basically it. So let me talk about some things that you will be doing throughout the course of the year. So recap assemblies. You're going to have 4 of them. First, second, third, and the year recap. Keep those interesting. Usually there will be lots of dance teams. Make sure, like, you want to do stuff that interests the students. So that's 4 assemblies that will look pretty similar. And lots of times students will skip out and like go to lunch or something instead of going to the assembly. So you want to mix it up. You don't want each recap assembly to look the exact same. So yeah, you're going to have the same, like, you're going to have performances, and you're going to have the awards. But like, other than that, if there's other things that you can do to keep it fun and engaging, then I would definitely recommend that. So that's for the quarter recap assemblies. And then you're going to give tons of speeches this year. You're going to give one for Burning of the Wolf. You're going to give one for the theme reveal assembly, and then all of the recap assemblies, and then 2 during Silver Rush, and then you just give a ton of speeches. Make sure you save all of your speeches so you know what you talked about. And remember, like, people don't really listen to your speeches. They really don't. They do remember, like, the feeling of like how you're giving the speech, and kind of like that. Not all speeches have to be the same. I remember my first speech. Everyone remembers my first speech because I didn't even plan it, but I said, this is what we live for. So everyone was like, I don't know if you remember that, but like stuff like that where like you can engage the audience is wonderful. You always want to engage. Like, if you can engage the audience in your speech, that's wonderful. Also, don't be afraid that like people are gonna judge you for what you do in your speeches. Like my last speech that I gave, it was the second quarter recap assembly speech, and I like did the last part in a medieval accent, and I read like a story, and it was kind of funny. So if you want to do stuff like that, like, just keep it fun, keep it interesting. Not everyone always, you can write a serious speech and not everyone may listen to it, but if you do give it with like power and conviction, and you like, they're like, dang, yeah, that was a good speech, you know. So that would be my advice on speeches. They're not a huge deal. A lot of people don't remember them, but they are important, and it's a way for you to talk to the student body personally, and yeah, it's really fun. What else? Football games. Football games are a blast. Make sure your activities SBO goes to all of those. Yeah, I would say get a bunch of chants at the beginning of the year. We didn't really do this. I was really hoping John would do more of this, but like he didn't. John didn't really do a lot at all, which is fine. But like to get chants, you can talk to Max about it, and that's fun. Get your themes. I really loved when Sylvester came to every game. Like, he didn't come to a ton of games, this year, but like I always really wanted Sylvester to come to as much as possible because we still have a mascot and we have this cool mascot costume, so why not use it, right? Try to get Sylvester to come to as many games as possible. It's going to be mainly Max's responsibility, but if Max isn't doing his responsibility, then it's up to you to do his responsibility. And that goes along with any SBO. If any SBO isn't doing it, it kind of falls on you. So yeah, I would do that. Basketball games are kind of the same. They're a ton of fun. And then, yeah, get Sylvester to as many events as possible. I think I'm almost done. I think I've talked about the whole year. But with the SBOs, you want to get tight with the SBOs. Okay? The SBOs are so useful and they help you. Like you can't go throughout this whole year without the SBOs. And they're going to help you, and you can't do everything, so you're going to have to delegate a lot. So I think you already know what most people do. So I want to talk about that, and the other SBOs should be passing down their advice. Elsie took notes the whole year, and she should have shared that with Missy, the historian, of just our year of notes, which is super helpful. Chris will be making a ton of videos. Just know that the tech kind of just gets thrown down to help at assemblies with audio and to set speakers up, and he's in charge of all of that, making all the videos. Communications, they do the most during Silver Rush, but during like other things, like when they're trying to book things for the Howl, just be like, yo Hayden, we need you to call this person to see if we can get this stuff, you know. The communications does everything with that. Student rec plans all of the assemblies. They write out the script for everything. They usually write what each SBO is going to say in the assembly or in like Burning of the Wolf, or if it's like another event, right? They're going to write what they're going to say. Finance is kind of just another helper. Their big thing is during Silver Rush they count all the money, and they do blue cards, but other than that, they probably have the less strenuous job. So if you ever need someone to do something else and they don't, and like everyone's doing something, then like the finance SBO could help you because usually they don't have a ton of stuff to do. Did I talk about all of them? Artist SBO, make sure they get the logos done. I love the logos. The artist SBO does wonderfully. Alright, and then the last is historian. They're in charge of all of your social media. And tell them to take a ton of pictures. Because they'll end up using those pictures for certain things. Yeah. Historian also takes all of your notes. So during class and stuff, take notes. Alright, last thing before I'm done. This has been such a long video, I don't even know I've been talking for so long. But you are the man, or someday woman, I don't know. Dallin, you are the man. Maybe some future SBO president will be a woman. I don't know. No, but you are in charge of everything. So everything that you do, everything, you're in charge. So your first meeting with the SBOs, you should like kind of establish how the meeting is going to be run. During class, when things weren't busy and we weren't trying to hurry and finish decorations, I had class, you're in charge of class. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. So every 7th period, you're in charge of. 3rd period, usually you're less productive, and 3rd period is more of a work period, and then 7th period is like where you plan and discuss because you don't have the class officers bothering you. But yeah, what I did during 7th period is I would have like a 5-minute brainstorming session, which I highly recommend. We pumped out so many ideas, like great ideas. Some of them ended up happening, some didn't. But like to start off the class with us like brainstorming, trying to find new creative ideas, where of like new events, of things that we could do, like lunch activities. If we wanted to just do a random lunch activity one day, that's kind of fun. But like brainstorming helps a ton. I did for a while was I had ever like I kind of like at the beginning of the year I'm like, all right, I'm sick of leading each meeting when we get together. So I put together a schedule, and each time a different SBO would lead. So they would say, "Hi, welcome to class," and then there would be a certain things that we need to talk about. We'd have our brainstorming session, and then they would give like a short leadership thought. So like 1 minute, just something that they found. They could have watched a TED Talk somewhere, just something that they wanted to talk about and share. Um, after everyone did leadership thoughts, we did a sharing time for a little bit, where like you'd come in and you'd have something to share with the rest of the SBOs and relate it to leadership somehow. Bryson showed us his computer once. Matthew showed us his letters that he had received from like U.S. presidents. I played my saxophone because most of them hadn't seen me play my saxophone, which was fun. But yeah, so we did that, and then we would talk about what needed to get done, and we would go into planning for events and stuff. Or if nothing needed to get planned and we needed to work, then we would dismiss and we would go working. So that's kind of how 7th period looked like. You can choose what you want to do with 7th period. It's all up to you. You don't have to have them do a leadership thought if you don't want to. You don't have to do a 5-minute brainstorming session. It's literally whatever you want to do. But okay, what else do I have to talk about? This has been a super long thing. I didn't realize that it was going to be this long, and I tried to get through it pretty fast, but obviously I just didn't get it through it very fast. I just had to share all of my wisdom. Not wisdom, just my experience, I guess. So I'm going to do little things that break up the video so that you can skip forward and see what I say about certain events. Hopefully it doesn't take me a ton of time of editing. No, it'll be fine. Good luck. Good luck. The year awaits you. Your student body awaits you. You're going to do amazing things. I believe in you. I believe that you can do amazing things. I've loved serving as an SBO, and you get so close with the SBOs. You love them. We did the SBOs once a month. We would do a family dinner with just us 8 on just a random day. Usually we would get together and someone would make dinner for us, and we would just sit and talk, and then we'd go hang out somewhere. And once a month we would have family dinners. It's super cute. So if you want to do that, that's kind of fun. And yeah, you really do want to become pretty close friends with everyone in student government because they have your backs. All right, I'm signing off. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was super long, so kudos to you. Don't watch it all at one time. Watch it in separate parts. If you're like, hey, I want to learn more about Silvers, just fast forward to that part, you know? That's what you've got to do. I think that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I'm done. Clean the SBO room because it gets so dirty. And yeah, student government becomes your family for sure. You come so close with them. Also, let me give you a little advice on Borg. So Borg is wonderful. Sometimes she can be pretty strict, and sometimes she has strong opinions about certain things, but she's wonderful. and just love her, and she will make you serving in SBO so much easier. So look to Borg. She'll help you with everything. Um, she's like my second mom. That's what I say because she looks out for me. Um, but yeah, this is gonna be a wonderful year in your life, and you'll definitely remember it. And so treasure it up, because because it's it teaches you so much. You learn from it so much, and it's gonna change your life. So that's all I've got to say. Peace out. Good luck. And yep, bye. Have a nice day.